good afternoon or evening, as I messed up already. Welcome to episode 5 or episode Derek England, episode Ulf Samuelsson, or episode 5-time champion Pittsburgh Penguins. Point Park Pens Talk.
Wow.
On Mondays 8 to 9. Berlansky, you are sick.
I'm currently dying, yes.
Jordan, you are still Jordan. And I'm Nick Horwath. Welcome to this hour.
Hello.
Oh, it's going to be a rough one. I mean, on my part, you guys will probably be fine.
Hey, I was sick last week, but we got through it.
Yeah.
We found a way.
Well, I mean, we are here.
Okay.
So, what are we going for? Horwath, you take the reins. You wrote the rundown and everything this week. I'm just here.
I took it over because you texted me this morning and said you weren't feeling too well.
I was not, and I still am not.
So
but I am here for you, the people.
Let's just jump into our first discussion.
Okay.
Okay. First step up, number 1, injuries, which is something the Penguins have always dealt with through. This has always been a thing. Like
There's never been really a season where most of our players have been healthy.
There really hasn't been.
This year, honestly though, this year's
been really good.
Fairly good.
Yes. Knock on wood.
We have had a lot of injuries though this year.
Oh, a decent amount. But nobody to our none
big.
to our huge players. Obviously, Kessel.
absolutely
Kessel,
not.
I don't think has missed a game since he came to the Penguins.
Kessel hasn't missed a game since his surgery.
Okay.
Before,
And then
I think
Crosby
in
and
Boston.
Malkin. No, Malkin missed a couple games.
Malkin missed a couple games.
But nothing serious.
I mean,
so
other than
those
Matt
guys
Murray
are all
at
healthy.
the moment,
Yeah.
which hopefully is getting dealt with nicely.
Yeah. Well, Matt Murray's been injured to and fro and had family issues. So
He's
Yes.
just injury prone.
And that's-
not
yeah.
his fault.
I mean, so far in his career, but his career is also very young.
His career
Yes.
is also like 2.5 years.
Also, there's also been a lot of bad luck on his part.
And
This
the thing
is
is,
true.
so when it comes to injuries, though, it's like, how does that change the mentality as a fan? Because we went to the game yesterday, Berlansky,
And I joked about this, so don't.
and first thing I
crucify me
said
for
was,
it.
"Oh, we're watching Casey DeSmith play goalie."
Nice.
Two of
Jordan
the
would have
things I
loved it,
said.
But
The first thing I said was Jordan is not going to this game.
yes,
But we are. And the
Second thing
I
you said
said
was, "We're losing."
Yeah, I did say that as a joke.
So if you hear, it's like, as a fan, you hear an injury happen to one of your better players or more important players, and the first thought you automatically always have is, how are we going to cover this? How are we going to not lose every game?
You can have complete confidence in the people
Exactly.
that are taking their space, but even you're like, well, they're injured, so the starters are injured, so we're in a little bit of trouble here.
It's like whenever Crosby goes down, we all freak out. Like Malkin can't take the helm. Or when Malkin goes down, like Crosby already doesn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like this scenario that whenever I remember when they both went down, I think at that point we didn't know what we were doing exactly. But you see the injuries. We just recently have Simone and Rust is the one that got hurt.
Russ
Yes,
got a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
He's concussed. I forgot what it was.
He got a concussion because that hit was illegal, Mike Milbury.
Oh, that
I
hit.
hate him.
Yes, that hit.
He's
He's horrible. Literally, how can you sit there and say that was not like, sure, yeah, he said because he saw him coming and then turned it back. He saw him coming, that is true. And then he went to get the puck. And it just so happens that he had to go face the boards when he went to get the puck. And Haig had clearly enough time to pull up on it. But you're right, Milbury. That was all Rust's fault.
Which game was that?
That was against Philly
Was it
last
Philly? Okay.
Wednesday.
Okay.
I know it's very hard considering we've been on national TV for a couple games in a row, and we have 2 more this week, which
Yeah, that's the back-to-backs too, nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
very sparse schedule this week coming up.
This week, yeah.
Who do
But
who do we even play this week? I hadn't even
We
looked.
play-
We play
the Rangers and then Montreal.
and then Montreal.
Okay.
That is who we have.
Those are two actually both important.
So you were
games.
saying, because I only briefly got to look at the rundown because today. So you were saying you wanted to talk about just basically how fans react to that?
Fans and what's the one thing players always say when they're asked about an injury to a teammate? We got to step up and take the place.
Oh, yeah, it's next man up, always.
Mhm.
Always.
That's not even a mantra anymore. That's just
Especially-
like an automated response.
Especially whenever a goalie gets injured. Your starting goalie goes down, who do you have? Like, your backups need to step in. Like, we watched the Dallas Stars. Their starter right now
It's Kari
is
Lehtinen.
Kari Lehtinen because
Ben
Bishop is
Bishop's
hurt.
Mm-hmm.
How are the Stars doing right now in the standings? Do you have
They're in
that
the
for-
playoffs. They are
They are actually.
first wild card team.
Yep.
Good. See, like, that's like
Yeah. I don't have the.
let it. I call them let a ton in, But Lettinen is a guy that
He let 4 in yesterday.
Let a ton in.
Only counted for 3.
I like
oh, well,
that.
no, the one was an empty net.
One was
Never mind.
empty.
He let 3 in, but only counted for 2.
I've just
because-
heard that saying around the internet. But it's just he can step up. He's a guy that's been around for a while. I mean, him and Niemi traded time. But back when Dallas was Dallas, and not the Dallas they are today. But he can step up and take over as a good backup whenever Ben Bishop gets hurt, which he does a lot.
Yeah, I can see that.
Matt Murray doesn't get hurt a lot. Well,
Yeah, he has so far. In
He
his
has
career.
so far.
I will admit to that.
It
He
just
is
seems
like the
injured at
farther
least
we
twice
get-
every year.
The farther we get into a season, it just seems the more injury prone he gets, which is fine. I understand. It's, you're going through an entire season.
but as long as he comes back like he did last year,
yeah.
I don't mind it. Or
Two
the
shutouts.
season before,
Mm-hmm.
even.
2 shutouts in Game 5 and 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. I'm pretty sure he was healthy.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure he was okay.
Very healthy. With a cup on the line, he was healthy.
Maybe look back a year ago, too. We were looking at Marc-Andre Fleury as our backup, too, so nobody in Pittsburgh was really that worried.
Yeah, but we're looking at Tristan Jarry right now as our number 1 backup.
Jordan, let's go back
This
to
is
2 years
true.
ago when
Jeff
Fleury and Murray were hurt. And
Jeff
Mr. Game
Za-
1, Jeff Zakoff.
Mr. Game 1, we were at the game yesterday,
And he
and
made
he's on the pregame video.
he's on the pregame video.
They flashed a highlight of one of his saves from that Rangers game in the playoffs.
It's wild.
Because
It's
we
the
saw
rundown
that,
of the
and I
five
was
cups,
like,
yeah.
37. I was like, Carter Rowney is not a goaltender.
Yup.
That was
Jeff
Jeff Zatkoff.
What a dude.
I was
Only
blown
thing I
away
remember
by
from that game is going and sitting out at the big screen and hearing "My name Jeff" like 150 times the second he got out on the ice.
Game 1. Oh, Game 1. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did go to.
That was the big screen.
We were the big
oh
screen
yeah.
that one.
Well, let's see. Anybody clock it? 11 minutes is how long it took for us to break Jordan.
It doesn't take long every week. We'll start timing this. How long it takes for us to break Jordan every
that was
week
pretty
now.
good. That was pretty good. I like that.
Well, it helps that I have nasal congestion. So it makes that a little easier.
Oh my god.
But we forgot to say at the top of the show, if you have any questions or
Oh,
have any
yeah.
comments, please feel free to text us if you have our number. If not, you can tweet to @Steel City Spiel, Steel City SPIEL, which is changing with the rebranding. So we will get information on that to you. But
That rebrand.
yeah, that
That
rebrand though.
rebrand,
But if
though.
you do have any comments or questions, please let us know. We will gladly talk about them over the air with you.
Mm-hmm.
So just as a heads up, before I forget, because I did forget.
And I did not remember to say it at all either. And I was on writing the episode. And they're pointing. And
So I'm helping him fill out the log sheet. That's
oh,
why.
the log's going in. Okay, that's
we'll
good.
do it. We'll bother with
Anyway,
it later.
So, what other big? Who else is hurt right now? Is it just Simone?
It's just those two because we were fully healthy before that.
No, actually, who just went out?
Did somebody go out?
Did somebody go out?
Hold up.
yesterday?
I think. Hold up. I thought there was an. I might
Both
just be.
of those players were out in the Philly game.
I might just be
Yes.
thinking of Rust actually, but I thought somebody else was out.
No, it's just those two.
And Rust and Simone.
Yeah,
Okay,
because that's why Joris is playing. That's why we have
That's right.
6 centers in our lineup right now.
Six
Yes.
centers is so wild to me.
Riley Sheehan was playing right wing yesterday. I
Left
think.
wing.
Left wing.
Sad. Yeah.
Phil is that right wing third liner for always and forever. He is a third
Phil
line.
Kessel is a world champion.
I hate
Thank
you.
God I wore
That's
this
like-
shirt today.
That's like Walmart brand 2-time Stanley Cup champion.
Too bad this is from Steel City.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh my god.
Christmas gift.
well, okay.
So, in other news, we're on a 5-game win streak.
No, we're not.
we're
we lost
not.
to Toronto 5-2.
Jordan, you did it again.
Oh well, gosh darn.
Jordan, when are you going to learn? Don't use NHL.com.
I just.
or if you do, properly read it. As in,
I-
look at the actual
Dude,
like
I
The
letter.
team that is in bold is the team that wins. He completely skipped over the fact we lost to Toronto 5-2 on Saturday, which was
think-
not. It should have been 3-3.
Oh, what is goaltender interference? What is goaltender interference exactly?
I don't.
wish
know.
I knew.
Neither does the NHL.
I mean, you can't sit there. Obviously, I'm incorrect. I can't sit there and say it would have been 3-3 because if he scores that goal, who
It's-
knows what happens?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We could score no other goals after that.
I've
we
seen
could
someone
score tied at 3-3. We could have lost that game 8-3.
It's like that argument for when people say that that goal in the finals should have counted.
No, we
in
could have
Game
scored 5
six.
goals after that. You don't know.
Exactly. We could have come back and scored 5. They
Teams
could've come
play
back and scored
differently after
whatever.
each goal.
Yep.
Mhm.
And we're both talking about the same person when it comes to who said that. Me and Berlansky. Do you remember where you heard that?
Oh, Steve Dangle?
Steve Dangle's the one. That's
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was Steve Dangle. I don't know why, like, there was nobody else that it could have been.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why it took me about 30 seconds to think of that.
Your mind's not fully functioning. It's okay.
His mind has the flu.
My everything has the flu right now. I'm just trying to get through
Just
this.
trying to live it. You're okay.
I love it though. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I would have hated if I would have been sick enough that I would have had to miss this.
I think
Aw,
I think I would have been
us.
I would have been upset too because I would have been having to handle Jordan with this show.
That's what I mean.
Hello,
Like I would have to sit.
Jeff.
I would have to sit at home and listen to him.
And I could just imagine
whole
you
time.
texting and like everything to us like,
My name is Jeff. How we do? Welcome to 3PT.
oh, that's what we
Yeah.
don't need. on
Yeah,
the
I
air.
will come in here with pneumonia if that's what it takes.
Oh my god.
You also do live across the street. You should be here regardless. Just saying.
His name Jeff.
Okay. Wow. Well, you're running the show here,
All right.
so all this dead air is not me then. If you want to pull that card.
What? Okay, you're gonna pull that out. I can fill it. I can
All right.
fill it.
All right, well, let's
hear
do
it.
it.
Let's hear it.
Continue with injuries. Matt Murray has not taken any
He's
shots
taken
in a practice.
He
yet.
has taken controlled shots, which basically means they're on the ice.
Yes.
He has not played. He has not practiced with his team. That is the next step, obviously. But who knows? It's a concussion. So who knows when
Take
he's
it
going to
slow,
get back to
and
that?
We're doing okay without him. Like I'm not.
Are we? Are we really?
At least
Really? We're in first place in the Metro Division.
we're doing okay without him.
Okay.
Hey man.
The way I see it, if there's no teams ahead of us in division play, then I'm pretty sure we're doing more than okay.
Okay.
I would like to have him back in time for the playoffs, but
Well,
I
well,
mean,
yeah.
yeah.
But at the same time, we're not going to rush it. Is what I'm
No,
saying.
yeah. If we have to start Yari or DeSmith for a
Kind
couple
of like
games in the
what Toronto
playoffs,
is doing with Matthews right now. Is they're not going to rush him back. They're
No.
going to make sure he's okay
Oh well, yes.
to make it in to be 100 and come back.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That being said, he's only taking controlled shots. I would say he'll be back. How many weeks do we have left in March? 2?
Yes.
2 this week.
Three this week, next week, the week after.
This week it does count, yeah.
Oh, that's right, because the first is.
I would say he'd be
on
back at
Sunday.
some point next week, maybe the week after.
Nice.
I would say, considering the fact we have 2 games this week that are back to back, and then we have off until next Tuesday,
That's plenty of time
I can see him playing against the Islanders next Tuesday.
Okay.
in New York. Yeah, and then we have a 3-game homestand where we could see him again if he
Well,
doesn't come back.
I mean,
there,
the
which
one's a
one's going
back to back too. I could see him playing the second half of the back to back.
At home against Montreal.
Yeah.
Keep him home off that. I don't know. It all depends.
Yeah, it depends on what the doctors and what Sullivan wants to do with him. So
If not, there's 4 games in the following week that he could come back for, and
against opponents that we could possibly see.
Okay.
the Flyers, yes. Detroit, no. New Jersey,
Maybe.
possibly. Actually, if the season were to end right now, we would.
Mm-hmm.
And Montreal, no.
And
we
then I
won't.
believe we have. Yep, there it is. There's a game against the Capitals.
Oh, that is a back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is your schedule.
Well,
I had no idea what was happening. I was going to interject because I probably sound like Shrek
My
or
swamp.
something. I don't know. Like
somebody wants to.
But let's go into the Pen.
Welcome to 3P.
The Pens Weekly Recap, brought to you by Horwat,
Oh,
who
it's-
thinks he's in Smash Mouth. And
Hey, it's me this week. So-
boy, Smash Mouth.
Quick update that I'm just going to say. Ovechkin did finally score his 600th goal today. I
Did he?
just got an
Okay.
NHL update.
oh, he scored already.
He scored twice already.
Oh,
Yes. I will bring him up in a conversation we're going to have later, which is going to involve the best players of all time, past and present.
Yeah, the best players in the world today and the best players of all time, because that is always a great conversation to have. And NBC did a little poll that we will fill you guys in on, so stay tuned for that. But yes, Pens Weekly Recap. We had a couple games this week, 4
I'm
to
going
be
to start with
exact.
the Calgary game that was on while we were here last week.
Yeah, you sent me this, and I was like, when did we play Calgary?
Yep, we were on the air because you wouldn't stop talking about Letang, and then he scored. So
Yeah, he didn't impress me
ended
last
up,
night either.
We ended up winning the Calgary game 4-3 in overtime with a Renaissance painting of a goal by Justin Schultz. Then the Philly game,
beautiful man.
or we played the Philadelphia Flyers the day after my birthday. We beat them 5-2. Go ahead, Jordan.
Why would there ever be a Penguins game on your birthday?
There's never gonna be. It's okay. Not only that, it
They're-
will
they're
never be a home
they're
game either.
never on mine either.
Yeah. And then we went to Toronto, and well,
Kind of got smacked.
5-2 was a relevant score again, just in the opposite direction. And then last night, Dallas, where we won 4-1, right? Was it 4-1 or 3-1?
3-1, 3-1.
3-1. I wrote down this. I looked at the score.
We were at the game.
Yes, but I looked at the score and I was like, wait, was it 3-1? I forgot because that goal got called back. I remember seeing 4 goals, and the Hornquist goal was a thing.
Yes, because Malkin couldn't straddle the line well enough.
He just didn't have his skate down. That's all it was. He did not have his skate down because I saw the replay on the condensed game.
People are getting mad about that in the replay. They're like, well, that had nothing to do with the way they scored a goal. It's like, no, it did because we went in offsides. So that did have a lot to do with scoring the goal.
And I'm not upset the goal was called back because he was offsides, because he was offsides. It's the way it is. I'm upset it got called back because Hornquist was so happy to score that goal.
He's just trying to one-up Radulov.
He was so happy. I've never seen.
I don't like.
No one likes Radulov. No one likes a man
I know
who
they
hits,
don't like.
No one likes a man who hits their coach. Okay.
That's very true.
I don't care if you're in the KHL. You don't hit your coach. Crazy.
So, anyway.
And we're going to roll this into our first break.
We will be right back with more 3PT.
Hello? Nothing much. I'm just listening to Colors on WPPJ. It's really good for vibes. Yeah, you should listen. It comes on at 9 on Fridays. You can listen at WPPJ.com or 670 AM. Yeah, no, really turn it on. It's dope. Alright, check you later.
Computer problems? We can help. The Computer Service Center offers a number of low-cost repair services for your personally owned computer, including a free diagnostic, a $15 quick fix, and a free warranty service on Apple and Lenovo computers. In the market for a new computer, the Computer Service Center also offers educational discounts on the latest Apple and Lenovo systems. Stop by the Computer Service Center in room 220 Thayer Hall or visit them online at www.pointpark.edu/CSC. Or you can also contact the Computer Service Center at csc@pointpark.edu or by calling at 412-392-6141.
Welcome to the Behavior Business. This is your host, Dan Esterly. Tune in Sundays at 2 o'clock to watch our show where we cover topics related to psychology and business. WPPJradio.org or 670 AM.
You're listening to WPPJ Radio 670 AM or online at WPPJradio.com, and this is your sports update for the week. The competitive dance team earned 4th place at the NAIA Competitive Cheer and Dance National Championships in Oklahoma City on Saturday. This was the team's first appearance on the national stage, their overall score hitting 85.42, just 0.03 points behind 3rd place finisher and last season's champion Midland University. Point Park's baseball team finds itself back in the NAIA Baseball Top 25, reaching number 22 in the first national poll of the season. The Bison are currently 13-1, adding 2 wins against Brescia and 1 against Washington and Jefferson under their belts. They have 3 more doubleheaders coming this weekend, along with the softball team getting back into action at the same time in the Lindsey Wilson Campbellsville Tournament. Junior track and field champion Anna Shields can add another accolade to her resume, being named NAIA's Women's Track Athlete of the Year. Shields placed first in 2 events at the national competition, including the mile run and the 1,000 meters. She was voted on for the honor by the United States Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association, adding another title to an already impressive career. For Point Park and WPPJ Radio, I'm Taylor Spirito.
All right, welcome back, and I can hear myself again.
We can never hear ourselves for the first half of the show.
We can never hear ourselves before the first break. We don't know what's happening.
And it's very annoying.
It is, and I'm very loud, too. So
I got you.
No, not I'm very loud, but like in the headset. But regardless, Jordan, it is time for you to read.
Oh, wow. The biggest challenge of the day.
That's the second biggest challenge for you, actually.
The first is waking up.
I was going to talk about the questions, but okay.
No, the first is
which
waking
we'll
up.
get to. Do you see it handing you my computer? I'm scared. Be careful with it.
Oh,
do you
okay.
You see what you're reading?
In any way, with Hornquist's goal last night, he has 20 on the season. The fifth Penguin with 20 goals this season. Evgeny Malkin was named the NHL Third Star of the Week with 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points in 3 games last week. Matt Murray has not yet returned to a full team practice, and since the new year, the Pens are 21-8-1, and the NHL has no idea what goaltender interference is.
Had to throw that one in there, didn't you?
I did, because it's a question that every team is asking.
It's
mostly every team.
Players that don't tweet for over like 3 months simply tweet, "You got 2 minutes for scoring a goal."
I
And I'm talking about Jamie Benn.
I forgot Jamie Benn had a Twitter until he tweeted that.
That's bad.
yeah.
I.
Go ahead.
It's so vague.
Did you see it?
Yes, the Brian Dumoulin goal.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
no goal.
How about the tweet from Josh Yohe though?
What do you say?
So he said, "What is Dumoulin thinking right now?" And I didn't see this
Oh.
tweet till the next day.
We
It
didn't
was
see
a-
this tweet till the middle of the first period during
Yeah.
the commercial break.
It was a poll. It was a poll on Twitter. It said the first option was the best goal I've ever scored, taken away. The second option was, "Wow, Sully is mad." Option number 3 was, "I need a beer."
It's Dumoulin. You know he needs a beer.
Oh, Dumoulin always needs a beer. But now, Jordan, is the hardest part of the day for you.
All right, we good. We
Welcome
good.
to 3PTHQ with Jordan Slobodinsky. He was 0 for 3 last week. Let's see if he can top that great quiz number.
Lansky, are you still sick over there?
Am I still sick?
I don't know anymore.
I'm trying to push through a little bit so I can contribute something to this show.
So it's not just the Horwon Slobodinsky show.
I mean, you guys could probably handle it.
Probably. All right, Jordan. Question number 1. Easy. Don't give me the names. Just give me the 2 numbers that are retired in PPG Paints Arena.
66.
You got the easy one.
Yep. I'll give you a hint. This number's also retired for another team in Pittsburgh.
21.
There you go. 1 for 1.
Wow, he topped his
I was like,
new record.
he goes, retired numbers. First number that came to mind was Joe Green, and then I was like, wait.
Okay,
a
before
second.
question 2, do you know who number 21 for the Penguins was?
Can you say his name?
Coberto Lamente.
For the Penguins, but yeah, no.
Okay.
That would be Michel Briere.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
You don't know who that is. Question 2, please.
Yes. What season was the Penguins' only President's Trophy? And do you know what the President's Trophy is?
I can never keep track of all the trophies.
The President's Trophy is the top team in the league, like the most points.
It's basically what the Capitals won the last 2
Yes.
years and means nothing.
Yes.
Okay. They only had it once.
They've only had it once.
Was it 91?
No.
Oh.
Berlansky with his hand raised.
It is the 1992-1993 season after they won 2 back-to-back Stanley Cups, and then they got ousted in the first round of the playoffs by
The New York Islanders.
the New York Islanders.
Dave Fichetti, if you are listening, shout out.
Okay, so I was close.
No,
No.
I said 91.
that's
So?
two seasons.
You're not close. There's only
Oh.
one right answer.
Is this in horseshoes?
And now the hard question.
Oh, 1 for 2.
Who was the Penguins' first ever head coach?
God, what the?
Yup. I didn't know this. It's not a name you're going to get. Well, if
Is
it's
it
a common name. It is a common name.
Is it a common hockey name or just a common name?
Here's a
question.
hint. His last name's Sullivan. So if you can just give me a first name.
Don't say Mike. Please don't.
If you could just give me a first name.
Alex?
No, George.
Alex?
It was George Red Sullivan.
That's your best guess is Alex.
We were in WPPJ. Who else am I going to think about?
Oh, okay, Pops. Makes sense. All right.
But
So that's
anyway.
3PTHQ. Jordan 1 out of 3, so he is 1 for 6 on the past 2 weeks since spring break. Yeah,
He's been 1 for 6 since the trade deadline.
should have traded him.
Should have traded for a different middle
Should have
seat.
traded him to Toronto for Jesse Blake.
Man. Jordan.
Jordan has no idea what that is. Continue. What?
The rest of our discussion is we're talking about last night's game that me and Berlansky were at.
It was quite interesting.
I love Casey.
We saw Malkin kill a guy at the beginning.
Oh, I was very surprised at that. As soon as he hit him, I was like, "Oh, this is not going to be a good game."
And then it wasn't for like the rest of the first, and then it kind of like settled down.
I was kind of upset.
that it settled. Yeah.
I thought there was going to be a fight, and I thought Malkin was going to be the one to fight because Malkin was
He-
already hyped up.
and he was
tried to.
and he was going after people for a lot of the night. And people were going after him.
He
So,
didn't
like,
take any stupid penalties though, so I
Yes.
applaud him for not going over the line and getting 2 minutes. Because if you look at the league's leading scorers, and you look at the penalty minutes for those league's leading scorers, Malkin is head and shoulders above the rest.
That doesn't surprise me.
It is very bad.
Yeah. Do you know how much higher he is, or is it just?
I do not know. I can look that up real quick if
Go
you guys
on
want to
ahead
keep talking.
while I think of something.
While you think of
Oh,
something.
Jordan,
You're supposed to
what did
write
you think
this
of Casey
down.
DeSmith last night? / did you watch?
I did watch, yes.
What did you think of
I
Casey
always
DeSmith
watch when
last
Casey
night? What
Did
did
you
you
hear
think
me?
of Casey?
I screamed, "I love you, Jordan." That was to the radio guy. Never mind.
I thought he played well. He didn't look spectacular or anything.
He only gave up 1 goal, though.
Yeah, he only did give up 1 goal. But that
He
was-
only faced 18 shots.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. He
Because
did.
I said I thought he was going to be the first star for some reason. Then I didn't see how many shots on goal he.
Yeah, because you said he's gonna be the first star, and I looked. He only like stopped 17 shots out of 18. I mean,
it's better than last time he was on the ice and gave up 3 goals and 5 shots.
It's very true.
yeah,
That is very true.
that's very true. Jordan, so you did watch the game then?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, well,
What did you think of Malkin's hit on John Klingberg? Do you know what hit I'm talking about?
yes.
Good.
Oh my gosh.
We have to test you, okay?
We already did that.
What?
Okay.
Make sure you're actually watching.
While you guys are done
Okay,
with your
okay.
banter right here,
All
So
right, cool.
yes, but anyway, the hit. I thought it was clean. I thought it was solid.
No questions on if it was clean or not. Just thought, did you like it?
Yeah.
Good.
did you? That's what you filled it with. Did you?
Did you
like
like
a hit? Okay. Well, leading the league in scoring is Nikita Kucherov. He has 36 penalty minutes. In third place is Connor McDavid. He has 26. McKinnon has 49, and that is the closest to Malkin is 49 with Stamkos and McKinnon. Evgeny Malkin,
Tell it to me.
67 penalty minutes. So he has over.
Wow.
An hour.
He has 18 more penalty minutes,
That's
and that's going down through.
all season.
Well, yeah, all season. That's going down through Brad Marchand at 16,
Oh.
who's dirty.
Yeah. that
I'm
makes
sorry.
sense.
There's no other way I can put that.
The rat.
I won't call him that.
I will. On the radio, like I just did.
Hey, if he's scoring, I don't really care.
Does this?
I mean, I do.
does this hamper his MVP candidacy?
No, nobody looks at penalty
Yeah, I
minutes.
was gonna say.
Okay.
Nobody looks at penalty minutes unless you're Steve Downey, and then in that case, they look at it so they can have another excuse to get you out of town.
Man, Steve Downey regrets everything he's ever done in the NHL.
I wouldn't. You know how much money that boy made to do nothing?
He didn't like that he was just the jerk and hit people. He didn't like that.
If it's gonna
I
pay
mean,
the
that
bills.
paycheck.
I think he wanted to do
I'll
better
do the
with
same
himself.
thing for that paycheck.
I will get hit for that paycheck.
See, I won't do that.
All right. Well, that being said, we're going to move on to our second discussion,
Mhm.
which is we're asked right now. Who's the best player in the world right now? Jordan.
Crosby.
Bracey?
Yeah, it's Crosby.
It's Crosby. Of course it is.
And that's not biased to anybody who's not a Penguins fan, which I'm not sure. Again, who?
I think every fan in the world of hockey can just admit to it.
Not quite.
No.
Because there's going to be
Because
arguments
otherwise we
made-
wouldn't talk about it.
Exactly. Because there will be arguments made that Ovechkin is up there. McDavid is up there. And will be up there.
McDavid could be there someday.
He's going to be. And it's sad to say that, but he's probably going to be. Put him on a good team. Put him on a good team.
I don't even think it's
And
sad. I think
he'll
it's
make it.
awesome to see. Like
Here,
some-
that goes into my argument. Did you just say put him on a good team and he'll be the best player in the world?
Yes.
You don't need a team to be the best player in the world.
Exactly. But
If you're the best player in the world, I can tell you're the best player in the world no matter who you're playing with. You elevate the game of other people. Yeah, Crosby has Malkin, but at the same time,
They're not-
who's Crosby's line mates?
right now it's Shearing.
It's
Shearing.
interchangeable.
Sherry and Gensel. It's like you said,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
it's interchangeable.
he had a
It doesn't matter.
he had a complaint a few weeks ago because he
Dominic Simone and Zach Aston Reese looked like all-stars on the wing with Crosby. That's a little far, but they looked very good and they looked very capable. I'd like to see what they would look like on the third and fourth line
by
Mhm.
themselves.
for an extended period of time.
Well, you give them a center.
Could see it.
What do you mean by them? What? He didn't say that we were just going to put them as the third line. Like, we got the first line of Crosby, Sherry, Gensel, second line of Malkin, Kessel, and Hagelin, just because I'm saying names. Third line of Dominic Simone, and fourth line of dress 3 goalies and 8 defensemen.
Man.
Get rid of those line mates.
So, but anyway, like you said, you could make the argument for Ovechkin also. People still want to say Malkin. People want to say Matthews is in there now. I would say Ovechkin can be in that argument, honestly.
I would put Ovechkin in that argument.
Given-
I would say Matthews and McDavid have a couple more years of proving themselves before I can put them in that argument.
Yes,
Yeah.
because, I mean,
They're just both
Brightest
too-
future, without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
They're just too young.
Now that's an argument in itself, McDavid or Matthews, that I'm not getting into because I don't watch nearly enough of either of them. I watch a lot of them, but that's something I'm going to leave to Toronto fans, Edmonton fans, and people at NHL Network.
Just stay in Canada with those two.
Yeah,
We don't need that
keep them
madness.
There was a poll done that I don't know if you guys saw this on postgame, that I'm not sure why I was watching postgame of a game I went to. Sidney Crosby was named the number one player you would want if you need to win one game
Yes.
by
the
NHL Players
This is
Association.
by the NHLPA. I did see this because
I mean, why not?
I listened to a podcast that they brought this up in.
That is a very high honor.
Yeah, by far, because you need one game, just one, not a series. Like, it's already the one game you need. Sidney Crosby. He's the captain clutch.
I just figured I'd bring that up. I saw it last night.
I saw the whole thing over the weekend. It's actually an interesting poll they did that I'm going to bring back up in a moment. But they also talked about who would be a great player currently playing to be a coach, and Crosby was also near the top of that list. Which,
I mean, Crosby coached this team until Mike Sullivan got here. Okay,
yes,
before Mike Sullivan was Mike Johnson. I'm sorry. My left pinky toe can coach better than Mike Johnson coached that team at the beginning of that year and beginning of the next year. Before then was Danny Bilesma, who
He's a pretty good coach.
I thought he was a fairly decent coach, but I feel like Crosby still coached that team. I don't think since Michel Therrien have we had a coach who could take the reins from Crosby and look at him and tell him to sit down, and Crosby would actually listen.
yes, because here's the other one.
And that only lasted for so long with Therrien, so hopefully it lasts with Sullivan, which I think it will, because those two have from what it seems, those two have a very good respect for each other.
No, Sully's great.
And here was another one of the topics was, who is the most difficult player to play against? Sidney Crosby had 29.9% of the votes, and he was at the top. Connor McDavid was second with 23.7%. So you can see that Connor's gonna be hard to play against.
He is hard to play against.
Yeah.
And here's why. He is the fastest player in the game.
That
with
was-
the best hands.
Fastest player is the first question. Who's the fastest player in the league? And
Yeah.
McDavid blew that out of the water.
McDavid is the fastest player in the league. He has great hands. He's great vision. He's an amazing passer.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, though. The way I look at it, we missed the playoffs the first year Sidney Crosby played for the Penguins.
Mm-hmm.
His rookie year, we missed the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
We have yet to miss the playoffs since. And some of those teams were not great. Some of those teams were rough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I remember our senior year of high school. Remember who was on that team? Blake Como. I think he played
Steve
with
Downey.
Crosby. UC Yokin, who I
But
like.
you look at the years after the Cup. Some of those teams were rough.
so rough
So Sidney Crosby elevated them, made them make the playoffs every year.
every year.
McDavid has made the playoffs once, and this is his third or fourth
This
season.
is his third season.
He was injured for most of the first season, so I'll give him a pass on that.
right.
But that's still,
Last season,
especially after last season.
And what's
people-
this season? What's this season? They're doing nothing.
Oh, they're doing.
They're doing nothing. He's not doing nothing. But
He's
they're
doing
doing
great,
nothing.
but they're not exactly.
You can make the argument that the Penguins did have a goaltender, and Marc-Andre Fleury, that can carry a team, and
Yes.
Cam Talbot cannot. But the way I see it, you need to elevate everybody on your team. Does Leon Draisaitl their center, or do they keep him on the wing?
I don't know. I want to say
If he's their center, then okay, I have nothing to say. If he's on the wing with McDavid, he has done nothing this year, and that is something that is reflected upon McDavid just as much as reflected upon Draisaitl.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the line combinations.
One of the other
on that
NHLPA
website.
Yeah,
one of the other NHLPA topics was, which player would you select to start a franchise? Now take into account when you're starting a franchise is your age. Like, how long do you want this guy on your team? So McDavid got almost half the votes because he's 10 years younger than Crosby. Crosby ended up still getting second with out of those votes. 23% of them.
Crosby's 32.
30.
30. I thought he was 32.
30.
No, he's 30. He seems a little bit older because he was severely concussed for a couple seasons.
Yeah.
Okay, so they want a 20-year-old. I can understand that.
I mean, who wouldn't?
And I'm also, as I'm scrolling through all these, I'm realizing Ovechkin is not in the top 5 of any of these. But regardless,
That's an injustice.
Is that
That
Joe
is.
Thornton?
as one of the best leaders, I think.
okay.
Oh, best team player, which yes, he is.
Okay.
All right, so we'll come back and I will try and get Ovechkin into this more. But
We still have to do Penn's preview for next
that's
week.
literally what I'm about to do right now. Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if you were cutting a break. I was trying to mouth it.
I was gonna say we need to do a preview real quick, which is gonna take 2 seconds really, because we have 2 games and they're a back-to-back. They're both road games, by the way.
Yeah.
Going to New York to play at MSG to play the Rangers on. It's
about a week and a half too late.
Yep,
There's a-
that's
yes,
on
Wednesday night rivalry, Penguins Rangers.
Oh, that's right, it is.
So I have to listen to Milbury again.
Yay. And the very next night, we go to Montreal. We cross the border going north to play the Montreal Canadiens.
That's always fun. I don't care how bad of a season they're having. Sidney Crosby playing in Montreal, that crowd is very loud.
He draws an eye in Canada everywhere.
One other thing I noticed last week, Phil Kessel was getting booed out of the building every time he touched the puck in Toronto.
Really?
That was hilarious.
I didn't even
That makes sense.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even take that into account.
Oh,
No.
yeah. They booed a person that they ran out of their city.
Yeah, I was going to...
They wanted him out,
Yep.
and they got him out, and now they're booing that he left.
And now
Because
they-
he left and won two
won
Stanley
two
Cup
Stanley
champions.
Cups.
They've paid him to win 2
It's also Toronto. I love Pens fans. I have a rant about Pens fans actually later today.
Oh my...
Toronto, I will say, is the best fans in hockey.
That's fair. I understand that. They're passionate.
Original 16, but how loud that place gets on a regular basis is ridiculous.
Understandable.
But we will have all that and more coming up in the last block of our 1 hour here. We'll be right back on 3PT.
Tired of your normal boring daytime talk radio?
Want to listen to a show that's slightly not disappointing?
Tune into H&B at 3
Thursdays at 3 to 4.
with me, Bill Steinbach.
And me, Hannah Sue Hepler.
Listen live at WPPJ 670 AM or at WPPJradio.com.
Are you looking to get hands-on, real-world experience in television? Look no further than UView, Point Park University's student-run television station. Whether your interests lie in sports, news, politics, or pop culture, UView has a place for you in one of our 8 original shows. Whether you dream of being in front of the camera or behind the scenes, UView is for you. For more information on how to get involved, check out our Facebook page, UView Point Park University Television.
Croups Corner brings you the best sports talk on the air. Based on the award-winning weekly column in the Globe, Croups Corner covers all the bases of Point Park athletics. Join Josh Croup and Allison Schubert each week for recaps and commentary on the biggest Point Park sports headlines.
Talked to Coach last night, and he's really
Just a huge win. It couldn't have come at a better
played
time.
really well. They had a lot of good ball movement.
Plus debates on the hottest topics surrounding the sports world beyond Point Park.
Well, that's a fair point.
He's not overrated.
Yes, he is.
Croups Corner, Wednesdays from 1 to 2, only on WPPJ.
Hey guys, time for this week's music update. Vocal group Pentatonics announced a new North American tour this week. Imagine Dragons announced they are extending their tour as well. The 24th and final Vans Warped Tour will be coming to KeyBank Pavilion on July 16th. Concerts in town this week include Insane Clown Posse, Lights, Five for Fighting, and Foreigner. And new releases drop this week from Churches, Meghan Trainor, and Avril Lavigne. I'm Chris Schwanke, and that was this week's music update.
All right, we started arguing before
Yes.
the commercial ended. We're going to go talking about best goalies.
Because as of right now, in this
Okay.
day and age, we are
Jordan, you
not-
said Jonathan Quick. I can't wait.
Wow,
Hold-
okay.
Hold on.
I wanted to finish
hold
my
on.
statement.
Let's let Horwat give them the background.
Okay.
Let's let him give them the
So
background.
I said we, at this very moment, are not in the prime time of goalies.
We all can agree on that.
Because we're really not. Because if you go back 20 years, we got guys like Martin Brodeur, Patrick Waugh, like Dominic Hasek, just making sure nobody could score. And now it's kind of like, who do we got? Like, who's an elite right now?
Mhm.
And you said Jonathan Quick, who I agree with, by the way.
I
think
don't.
Okay,
Wow.
Okay, so let's give me an example of who you think it is elite is an elite right now.
Carey Price.
Carey Price, okay.
Okay.
Andre Vasilevsky this season.
This season, yes. Never before. Will he be able to hold it, though? We'll see.
Yeah, that's all depends. He's tired because they don't have a backup that they like to play.
Yeah.
But with the game load that he's played this season, I will say that he has been elite this season. I'm not saying he's an elite goaltender.
I can
I'm
agree
going
with
to
this
throw,
he has been elite.
I will also say Braden Holtby.
As much as I hate to admit that, yes.
He's such a good goalie. He really is.
He just flops in the playoffs.
He's a
So is the
heady
whole
goalie too.
He's a what?
He's a heady goalie. It's very easy. Once you score a couple on him in big games,
over.
He's bad.
Yeah. So who's the best goalie right now? Who's the best goalie in the league
Andre
right now?
Vasilevsky.
See, I almost just want to say Cam Ward.
Who? Oh. I legitimately forgot who he was for a minute because I'm like,
why?
Was it why Cam Ward?
just
Because
think-
he beats us?
No. I just actually like the way that he plays. I think he's a good goaltender. I think
Because he's like the last stance from
that original
from the from like the early 2000s league. I can't think.
Is
of any-
he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
just-
older.
Yeah.
I can't, there's no one else that's leading the league still from 2004 or 5, I think.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Andre Vasilevsky has 40 wins. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I was
wait,
looking up goalie stats.
Wait.
Wow.
That's incredible.
The Penguins have 40 wins. So does Andre Vasilevsky.
Also,
wow.
I kind of forgot a goalie from 2004 or 5, Marc-Andre Fleury.
So, okay, yeah, he's kind of one of the elites left.
Yes.
Let's go with that.
But it's like if you go back like 3 years, like it's like these guys that are goalies are not the same as they were back 20 years ago when nobody could score.
We also don't seem to have as many franchise goalies as we used to have.
That too. That's another thing. It's like I guess that's kind of the term I was looking for.
Okay, so like you're talking about
who's the greatest goalie of all time?
Jeez, what? I thought HQ was over.
I'm asking everyone, Berlansky, who's the greatest goalie of all time?
What's his name?
Vladislav Tretiak. No, I'm just kidding. Best goalie of all time. It's really hard to go against Patrick Waugh.
Yeah.
But it's hard because
But I'm going to go with Martin Brodeur.
Ooh, okay. I was torn between those two, too.
I was going to say Waugh.
So we're all all in agreement.
If you are listening and you are an older listener and have actually watched these guys, because we were all born in the late 90s, please send us your opinions on who you think the best goalie from a little bit later, because I unfortunately didn't get to see anybody but Brodeur live.
We missed a lot of talent.
Yeah, but I was a Avalanche fan, and I knew Patrick Waugh was really good. The thing about Patrick Waugh, too, is he did it all. He could fight, too. Him and the Red Wings, I wish those two were still rivals, the way they were.
Mm-hmm.
The way those two would get at each other.
He's like
Also,
Colorado and Detroit.
No, I'm not talking about you.
That's not, yeah.
Oh.
But they were one of the hottest rivalries I've ever seen. And my mom said Tom Barrasso because he was cute.
We need to
Thanks,
get her
Mom.
on the show. That is great.
I'll bring my mom here.
But I have an opinion.
Got to get her out
Or
of
I have a
Florida
question
first.
for you then.
Go ahead.
Not you. For your mom.
Okay.
To Horwat's mother. You said Tom Barrasso, but what were your thoughts on Frankie Pietrangelo?
What?
The backup at that time. That's
the backup who made the save to propel us to our first Stanley Cup championship.
What a statement.
Yes. But I would say, like...
I will await that response at a later date.
Yes. Like I said, because Patrick Waugh also did revolutionize the butterfly style that everyone plays with now.
Absolutely.
So, going from stand-up to that, changed the game in goalies. Let's get out of goalies because we can go on for hours about who's the best forward or skater.
Oh, jeez.
Can you?
I was going to say.
I mean, are we all going to say Mario? Oh, see, now we can go on for hours. Let's go. You're saying Gretzky?
Okay.
You're saying Gretzky?
Sorry. I'm saying Gretzky.
I was going to say Gretzky, too.
Oh, so I'm the only one alone.
You're saying Mario's better than Gretzky?
Yes.
That is a...
What?
Wow.
Why? Let's take away the over 100 or 200 games that Mario missed. I'm not saying he'd be better scoring. I'm saying he'd be the better overall player.
I mean, maybe, but he missed 100 or 200 games.
Because he had cancer, Jordan.
I know this.
He in the games that he did play, his game was hampered because he was hurt while playing.
Yeah.
Now, he's managed to average 1.88 points per game while playing through injuries for his career. Okay. Let's say he's not hurt during all those times.
Yeah, but we don't know.
Does that go up?
That probably does go up.
It does go up.
We can't
Exactly.
tell, but we can't tell. I mean,
I'm just going to hold to my argument that Mario is the best of all time.
In a theoretical world, yeah, Mario might be better than Wayne Gretzky, but the facts still remain.
Hold on.
So-
I need to pull a calculator out.
So you're going to...
And it's not Mario's fault. I mean,
Are you looking at Gretzky's points per game? Because I do have
I'm
that.
looking at games played.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, let's hear the statistics.
Go
Wayne
ahead.
Gretzky played 572 more games than Mario Lemieux. Mario Lemieux did not even play 1,000 games.
4 whole seasons. Because he missed 4 whole seasons.
He played 915 games in his career.
Mm-hmm.
And he is 8th on the all-time scoring list, and he is the only one in under 1,000 games until you hit
Go ahead.
Peter Stastny at 38.
We're not saying that he's not one of the greatest. We're just saying it's Gretzky versus.
It's not far apart.
No.
It's not.
I still think it's Gretzky, though.
Yeah.
I get your point. You actually make a very good, valid point.
You make an argument
Because he couldn't lift his leg
yeah,
by himself over the boards to get
Yeah.
on the ice.
which is sad, but there's nothing.
Berlansky, I'm looking at Berlansky's face. It looks like he's trying to he doesn't want to change his mind.
No, I would love to change my mind because I'm a Penguins fan.
Yes.
Why would I not want to change my mind and say, well, yes, without a doubt, Mario Lemieux is the best player of all time, but it's still so hard.
I'm not going to take this into effect of greatest player of all time.
Okay.
Mario does know how to run a team, though.
Yeah. I mean,
Gretzky couldn't get the. I mean, granted, he coached the Coyotes,
that
but
didn't work well.
Didn't work out.
Yeah, so
And the Coyotes weren't an awful team at that point.
they won the division a couple of years ago, like 5 years ago. But
think- I
still,
think it was-
that was still the Pacific Division with like 4 teams.
And that
5
was
teams.
I was actually also like a year or two after Gretzky left. So it's not like they had a bad team
Oh.
at that time.
Well,
But it's the point of like
I understand.
as an all around hockey guy too.
I guess
Mario doesn't want to coach, clearly.
which is fine.
He
I
owns a
wouldn't.
team. He also, you got to figure, he was a player, owner, Hall of Famer at the same time. Thanks to the comeback.
You're making a lot of points.
you see, that doesn't go into best player. That just goes into him being
A guy.
ridiculous.
A guy, yeah.
Now there's a guy.
No, this
There's
is
a
a
guy.
guy. He can
So-
really run a hockey team.
But so now, who's the best goal scorer right now? I'm just gonna switch it up.
Best
Immediately jump
goal
off topic.
scorer, like goals
Yeah,
or
scoring.
points.
Goal scorer, goals, shooting.
Yeah, that's still Ovechkin.
Still Ovechkin. Yep.
Malkin is lethal right now, but Ovechkin is
Ovechkin is unreal, and he deserves to be talked about as one of the greatest of all time. Also,
he deserves to be up there. I think he deserves to be talked about as the second or third greatest player in the league today.
yeah, totally.
I think if he could just get a cup, I mean, obviously, if he gets a cup,
We won't be happy, but I mean, I know people who will be, and
it'll
it's-
solidify his
it will
spot.
finally give him something to like
Oh my
say.
gosh,
like,
yeah.
he's
Well, people will be
done.
off his back. I'll be off his back personally. If he takes that team to the cup this year, I'll be off his back.
Especially
Still won't
considering
like it.
like
Oh, I mean, nobody is gonna enjoy looking
Because
at
you
his
know, if the Capitals are going to go win the Stanley Cup, which is hard for me to say, they're going to have to beat the Penguins.
they will.
I feel like they will have to beat the Penguins.
barring a fluke, then yes.
I wouldn't call it a fluke.
I
The
mean,
league,
like, I mean,
especially the Eastern Conference, is tight.
I'm saying
Yeah.
if like barring a fluke where the Pens lose in the first round,
Wouldn't be a fluke, unless we lost to Columbus.
my point exactly.
So
We're not playing Columbus.
I hope
I can
not.
tell you that right now.
no, yeah. So Ovechkin's up there with one of the greatest goal scorers right now because
Mhm.
Crosby's a playmaker. There's the way. That's no way around that. He's
Crosby
a
makes
playmaker.
everybody on the ice better.
Yes,
Absolutely.
So, which is something that Mario did, by the way. He made Rob
Oh, yeah.
Brown. He made Rob Brown a 40 goal scorer.
He
You know
made
who
Bob
Rob-
Airy relevant.
Jordan, you know who Rob Brown is?
Heard the name.
Dang it. I was really hoping you would say, no, you've not heard of him at all.
I've heard that name.
Joe Schmo from Market Square could say he heard the name Rob Brown.
Yeah, but do you know the relevance of Rob Brown?
I don't know the relevance.
Okay, he played on a line with Mario.
Oh, okay.
Got a 40 goal season
because
out of it.
because he's like
Because
Crosby and he elevates everyone around him.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
I did a lot of research this morning.
You did. Boy.
I woke up at like 10 o'clock and I felt so refreshed after
How does that feel?
a hellish week. It was quite nice to wake up and feel okay.
Was it?
Yes.
Well, if the playoffs were to start today,
we
if the
would be
playoffs were to
playing.
start today, we would be playing the Devils. But here would be the matchups.
Okay.
The Western Conference is a cluster of craziness and matchups that I don't think, well, there's a matchup I've seen a lot, but there's other matchups that I don't think I've ever seen.
Okay.
Predators versus the Avalanche in the playoffs, first round.
That's weird.
Shout out to Colorado making it.
It would be the Jets versus the Wild, which
That's really cool.
Patrick Laine, by the way, I'm going to say is up there with one of the top goal scorers right now. Because he has the
he
most.
was coming into the day. Him and Ovechkin were tied for first. Malkin was back.
Yep. And also, Laine has the most goals out of the past 2 seasons. Out of everyone. Everyone.
I like that matchup a lot, though.
Yeah.
I think that's a good, entertaining match.
See, I can't be entertained by Minnesota for some odd reason.
That's fine. I can understand.
It's just I don't know. I find it. I mean, this series between Minnesota and Colorado a couple of years ago was entertaining, but ever since then, Minnesota's been in the playoffs every year.
They just
Don't.
tend to do anything.
Vegas will kick off their first playoffs if it started today against the team that we saw yesterday, the Dallas Stars. That would be a great matchup.
Interesting.
Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn versus Jonathan Marchessault, James Neal, Marc-Andre Fleury, Ben Bishop gets healthy. Could you imagine how good of a series that's going to be? I will stay up for every game.
I would watch. Those would be great games.
And a rivalry, one of a couple rivalries.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's the
Stop.
wrong music. Continue.
It's the Sharks and the Ducks would be the last one.
I wouldn't watch a single game of that.
Oh,
Those
no,
are
I
two
hate-
boring teams.
I hate the Ducks.
I hate watching the Ducks.
So the Eastern Conference, which is ridiculous, we would have Tampa Bay, Columbus, which is a shootout, basically.
Okay.
Boston, Toronto.
Oh,
If we all remember the last time those two played in the playoffs, Game 7,
Let's-
up
let's-
by 3 goals,
Let's just traumatize Toronto.
4-1, and they lost in overtime.
Bergeron, score!
Yeah, they hear that in their nightmares.
Bergeron.
That is horrible. The Penguins, we said, would play the New Jersey Devils, who have beaten them twice
Yeah.
so far. We do have a couple games coming up in the next couple of weeks, so it'll be interesting to see how we respond. It's a team that we can't score against very well.
I'm
Never have been able to because they had Martin Brodeur back then.
And now they have Corey Schneider and Keith
Who-
Kincaid.
Yeah.
We haven't played Schneider in 2 years.
Yeah.
We've played only Keith Kincaid, and we have lost to him twice this year.
Funny thing is, I don't find Schneider's like one of the top goalies in the league right now. But
He's a workhorse.
Yeah, he does good.
He was also injured for a
He'll
while.
probably start next week. Kincaid, I mean.
Kincaid? I don't know if
We don't know if Schneider's
Schneider's
back. But I
injured
mean,
or not.
if the pattern continues, we playing Kincaid.
And then the last one would be Capitals Flyers.
Wow, what a way to kick off the playoffs.
Man, those two can beat the crap out of each other every day again.
That happened 2 years ago. That the Capitals were up 3-0 in that series, and then the Flyers came back and tied at 3. And
then-
I honestly thought it was going to be Pens Flyers second round, and then the Capitals just completely obliterated them in Game 7.
What game was that wristband game?
The wristband game was Game 4,
Is that Game 4? Okay.
where they won their first one.
Oh, when they threw them all on the ice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fairly certain.
I don't remember. It may have been 7 actually, because they were getting beat at the time. Bad.
It might have been 7
It
because
was
they
probably
brought
7.
it back. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was our freshman year of college, so I
Yeah,
don't
'cause
remember.
I remember.
that very much.
I remember watching that specific game actually. I think it was on NBC.
Well, yeah.
But
It's
I'm
the
just
NHL
talking.
playoffs.
I'm just talking, but I remember watching that.
I-
game,
The home
watching that
of the
happen.
playoffs
I'm not-
on
I'm not-
NBC.
I'm not going to lie, though. I would really be okay watching the Flyers Capitals series.
I would be, but guess what? I would rather play the Flyers.
I don't want them. I don't want them
100%.
round one.
I do. I want
if
we're gonna win
the Flyers any day of the week because we have. When's the last time we've lost bad to them?
Oh, it's been years.
Maybe not years.
years.
Maybe like a
No.
couple of times. I'm just saying we don't lose bad to them often.
We're 3-0 against them this season.
Yes, with only one game being relatively close.
I don't remember which one that was. But
It was
we
in. It
haven't
was in.
lost to
Yeah, it
them
was in
yet.
November. They won 5-4 in overtime.
That being said,
I would want if I had to handpick our opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
It would be Flyers first round, and that's if we win. Obviously, we're not
Yeah,
assuming
yeah.
anything.
Mhm.
That's
But if I had to handpick it on the way to a cup this
Mhm.
year, that would make me the happiest. Flyers first round, Capitals second round. Personally, I'd like to see Maple Leafs third round, but Maple Leafs or Lightning third round would be ridiculous, or even Boston.
I hate
I
Think about
really
any
don't
of those
want. I
teams.
don't want to play Boston. That's a scary matchup.
Okay, but those 3 teams, and then in the finals, I would love to see Vegas.
I mean,
who
that's,
wouldn't?
that's a storybook right
That
there.
is-
That is my heart breaking 7 times in 7 games. Because that will go 7 games.
Oh, there's no way it doesn't go 7 games.
I mean, there is a way it doesn't.
Should we go? Should I
If a team wins 4 games,
shotgun
before-
through standings real quick
Oh,
and
my
see if I can get through it without
You guys, I think we're
sneezing?
fine with what we got. We're coming toward the end of the season anyway. You don't really need to know. Like, just say who's in the hunt, I guess. Really, for each
who
side,
is
because
in
you
the
got
hunt?
So we
you
gotta-
said
we-
who's in the playoffs as of right now.
We did say the playoffs.
Here's
Yeah.
But we
Berlansky
will
with
tell
the
you who's in the
updates.
hunt. We have. What did you say?
Berlansky with the updates.
Oh, I thought you said something about me sneezing.
Berlansky with the sneezing.
So we have the top 3s that are basically going to be the same for a while.
Yeah.
In the Eastern
Absolutely,
Conference, that's
yeah.
Pittsburgh, Washington, Philadelphia, and the Metro Division. In the Atlantic, it's going to be Tampa Bay, Boston, Toronto, no matter what.
Yep.
In the wild card right now, it's New Jersey, Columbus. Florida has snuck up on there. They're 2 points back. There's a little bit of a gap there, and then it's Carolina, the Islanders, and the Rangers. Carolina, all 3 of those teams have started to fall off. Then we have Detroit, Montreal, Ottawa, and Buffalo. In the next couple of weeks, teams are going to start losing or being eliminated from contention. So that'll be interesting. That's always a fun time.
If they aren't already.
They are,
I know that-
NHL.com would say something.
I know they're not mathematically eliminated, but
In the Central Division in the West, we said we have Nashville, Winnipeg, Minnesota, which Minnesota is quietly again getting up there in the division standings. In the Pacific, we have Vegas, San Jose, and Anaheim. In the wild card, we have Dallas and Colorado. But 1 point out is the LA Kings, and then we have Calgary, who is another point out, and another point out is also St. Louis. So those 3 teams are all severely in the hunt, separated only by 3 points from the last spot in to the first 3 out. And then there's a drop off, and then we have Chicago, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Arizona, who, barring undefeated remaining of the seasons, will not win
Yeah.
and make the playoffs.
So,
barring a literal miracle.
2 things. 1, Brandon Sackett, who's a committed listener to the show, thank you, said Sidney Crosby is the greatest player of all time, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Of all time?
Of all time. So he's probably thinking you take his speed and talent, throw him into the 80s, is going to kill it. Here's the thing, though. In an interview, or not an interview, but like in the little like round table that Lemieux, Crosby, Taves, Orr, and Gretzky did, Gretzky and Lemieux both said, we're great players, but if we played now, we would adapt. And
you'd have to.
And be just as good as we were.
Yeah, there's no.
They said they
look
would
at the players
adapt.
like Yager.
So I'm going to say Crosby is one of the greatest of all time, but he would probably adapt to a slower game and be a little lazier maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Backwards. I mean, you never know.
Here's the thing. It would be great to say you can just plug him into the 80s and it'd be amazing. But
At
you
the same
can't.
time, you can't. How they were much harder penalties. They were way more lenient on penalties too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crosby probably would have worse concussions.
It's hard to say so, but yes, he probably would. So I get what you're saying, Brandon. I understand that you like Sidney Crosby and you believe he is the best player in the world, and he in the history of the NHL. I'm sorry.
You're also entitled to your opinions.
Oh yes, definitely. And you could very well be right, but I'm just saying that I still believe it is big old Wayne Gretzky than Lemieux.
The final
I think Crosby has a chance to get up there and challenge, but we have to see what he does the rest of his career.
And the final note from my mom for your answer.
About Frankie?
Yes.
Oh.
His glove save against Peter Stastny led to a collective sigh of relief, especially with my father, as in my dad, as in Bob.
Okay. Well, thank you. That I did want an answer. I'm glad we got it before we went off air.
Sigh of relief is what happened, really. So,
okay. Well,
thank you for another week. Hopefully, Berlansky will be feeling better next week.
Yeah, hopefully I won't be ready to pass out.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Goodbye.